You stand from a chair and your legs quiver, the stairs feel unsure, and you wonder if strength is slipping. Before reaching for another bottle, look at magnesium on your plate. Magnesium helps nerves fire smoothly, muscles contract and relax, the heart keep a steady rhythm, and calcium and potassium stay in balance. According to the National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements, large cohort studies in older adults link higher magnesium intake with a lower risk of frailty and slower gait speed, a quiet advantage your legs can feel. If you want stronger legs after 60, think of magnesium as the quiet spark that lets every muscle fiber do its work. Inside each cell, magnesium binds to adenosine triphosphate so that the energy you make can actually be used, and it steadies the flow of calcium and potassium that tells a muscle when to contract and when to let go. That is why low magnesium makes nerves fire too easily and muscles cramp more readily. The National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements describes magnesium as essential for nerve transmission, muscle contraction and relaxation, heart rhythm, and mineral balance, and notes that early deficiency can show up as weakness, tingling, and cramps. A comprehensive review in the journal Nutrients explains that magnesium partners with adenosine triphosphate and participates in hundreds of cellular reactions, including those that keep muscle membranes stable. Older adults can slip into a quiet shortfall even when they try to eat well. As we age, the gut absorbs a smaller fraction of the magnesium we eat, while the kidneys tend to let more of it go. On top of that, long-term illnesses and commonly used medicines can disturb magnesium balance. The National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements highlights all three reasons in its section on older adults, which is why a normal-looking menu sometimes still leaves your calves edgy at night. There is also encouraging news for function you can feel. In a randomized controlled trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers followed 139 healthy women with an average age of about 71 who were doing light exercise weekly. The group that received 300 milligrams of magnesium daily for 12 weeks improved their short physical performance battery score, stood up from a chair faster, and walked 4 meters more quickly than the comparison group, with the benefits most evident in those whose usual intake was below the recommended level. That tells us two practical things. First, when intake is low, bringing it up can help real-world performance. Second, food first is still the right starting point because it raises your baseline safely. So how do you build a plate that feeds your muscles without upsetting an older stomach? Use 3 simple rules. Favor foods that carry magnesium together with fiber and other nutrients. Make grains whole, beans routine, and greens daily. And remember that water can help more than you think. The Office of Dietary Supplements lists tap, mineral, and bottled waters as sources, with magnesium ranging from about 1 milligram per liter to more than 120 milligrams per liter, depending on the source and brand. The World Health Organization has also highlighted drinking water as a potential contributor to magnesium intake, although levels vary widely by geography. For daily targets, the recommended dietary allowance is 420 milligrams for men age 51 and older, and 320 milligrams for women in the same age group. Those numbers include everything you eat and drink. Now let us make this concrete with 7 dependable foods that are gentle to add and powerful over time. First, roasted pumpkin seeds. A single ounce provides about 156 milligrams of magnesium, which is a quick step toward your daily goal. Sprinkle them over warm oatmeal or a bowl of yogurt where their slight crunch pairs well with soft textures many older adults prefer. Second, chia seeds. 1 ounce supplies about 111 milligrams. Stir them into a smoothie and let the mix sit for a few minutes so the seeds soften. Or make a simple pudding with milk or soy milk so the fiber eases digestion while the magnesium supports muscles. Third, dry roasted almonds. Keep a small portion near the kettle for a mid-afternoon boost, or chop and scatter them over sliced fruit to add magnesium, protein, and healthy fats in one easy plate. Fourth, cooked spinach. A half cup gives about 78 milligrams and is very easy to chew and swallow when it is lightly boiled or sautéed. Add garlic and olive oil, or fold it into an egg scramble for a soft, savory side that brings both magnesium and folate. Fifth, cooked black beans. A half cup provides about 60 milligrams. Combine them with brown rice or whole grain tortillas to make a complete protein that is friendly to dentures and adds fiber that steadies blood sugar. Sixth, plain soy milk or cooked edamame. 1 cup of soy milk has about 61 milligrams, and a half cup of shelled edamame adds about 50 milligrams. Either choice makes an easy snack that slides down comfortably and brings plant protein along for better muscle repair. Seventh, shredded wheat-style whole grain biscuits. 2 large biscuits contribute about 61 milligrams. For a breakfast that counts, pour soy milk over them and add a spoon of pumpkin seeds on top. In a single bowl, you check off several magnesium-rich foods without fuss. When you put these pieces together, a typical day can quietly reach your target. Imagine breakfast with shredded wheat and soy milk topped with pumpkin seeds. Lunch could include a half cup of black beans with warm spinach on the side. A small handful of almonds in the afternoon keeps you from overeating later. In the evening, a simple soup and a small salad sprinkled with chia seeds round out the day. Along the way, you can choose a mineral water with a known magnesium content if you enjoy bubbles. The Office of Dietary Supplements notes that food processing, especially refining grains, lowers magnesium substantially. So choosing intact whole grains is a meaningful change all by itself. One more reason to favor food. The body absorbs roughly 30 to 40% of dietary magnesium on average, and meals naturally spread your intake through the day, which can be easier on the gut than a large single dose. If you have trouble digesting big salads or raw vegetables, you can still get there with cooked greens, beans, seeds, and grains. Texture matters for comfort and consistency, which are the real secret to getting enough every day. For those who like to see function move in the right direction, the research is consistent with this food-first strategy. The randomized trial in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that bringing intake up in women who were below their recommended level improved a validated performance battery and walking speed over 12 weeks. Reviews in Nutrients summarize similar benefits for chair rise time and gait speed in older women. None of this argues for pills for everyone, but it does say that the right amount of magnesium in the right person can translate into stronger steps you feel when you stand and go. If you and your clinician later decide to consider a supplement because your diet still falls short, keep it targeted. Forms that dissolve well in liquid, such as magnesium citrate or magnesium lactate, tend to be absorbed more completely than magnesium oxide, and your clinician can help you fit any supplement into your medicine schedule. But for most people, the safer, steadier path begins in the kitchen, not the pill box. Start by counting how often the 7 foods above appear in your week. Your legs are built on habits, and every serving is a quiet deposit towards strength. Let us turn this into a day you can actually follow. Breakfast can be 2 shredded wheat-style whole grain biscuits with 1 cup of plain soy milk and a spoon of roasted pumpkin seeds sprinkled on top. That gives you about 61 milligrams from the cereal, about 61 milligrams from the soy milk, and about 156 milligrams from the seeds. Lunch can be a half cup of cooked black beans with warm cooked spinach on the side and a small bowl of brown rice. That adds about 60 milligrams from the beans and about 78 milligrams from the spinach, while whole grains help you keep magnesium that would otherwise be lost during refining. For an afternoon snack, choose a small handful of dry roasted almonds or a spoon of chia mixed into yogurt. That adds about 80 milligrams from almonds or about 111 milligrams from chia. Dinner can be a simple vegetable soup and a piece of lean fish, with extra greens if you like soft textures. When you tally those foods, you are already near the daily target without a single pill. These specific food values and the reminder that refining removes magnesium-rich bran and germ come from the National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements. Why aim for this day after day? Because better magnesium status is linked to function you feel. In a 12-week randomized controlled trial in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, healthy older women who received 300 milligrams of magnesium daily improved their short physical performance battery score and walked faster over 4 meters compared with controls, with the biggest gains in those who began below the recommended intake. That trial suggests that bringing intake up when it is low can translate into quicker chair rises and steadier steps. Beyond trials, recent cohort work in community-dwelling older adults found that higher dietary magnesium intake was independently associated with a lower risk of frailty, especially the slow gait speed component that predicts loss of independence. That study, published in the Journal of the American Medical Directors Association, points to a real-world benefit of simply reaching your daily intake. A prospective analysis from the seniors Enrica cohort also linked increases in dietary magnesium over 5 years with better trajectories in physical performance measures, reinforcing the value of consistent intake. Now, when should you test, and when should you consider a supplement? Testing is most helpful if cramps keep coming back. If your usual diet is light on beans, seeds, greens, and whole grains, or if you take medicines that are known to lower magnesium, such as long courses of proton pump inhibitors for heartburn or loop and thiazide diuretics for fluid control. The National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements emphasizes a key caveat. Only about 1% of total body magnesium is in the blood, so a normal serum number does not rule out a tissue-level shortfall. That is why clinicians interpret the result together with symptoms, diet, kidney health, and medicines. People with gastrointestinal conditions that impair absorption and people with diabetes who lose more magnesium in the urine are also at higher risk and may benefit from evaluation. If you and your clinician decide that a supplement makes sense because your intake still falls short or a test confirms low magnesium, keep it targeted and gentle. Forms that dissolve well in liquid, such as magnesium citrate, magnesium lactate, magnesium aspartate, and magnesium chloride, are absorbed more completely than magnesium oxide or magnesium sulfate, according to the National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements. Start with a low dose, take it with food, and increase only as tolerated. For adults, the tolerable upper intake level for magnesium from supplements and medicines is 350 milligrams per day, unless your clinician directs otherwise. Magnesium can bind in the gut and reduce absorption of oral bisphosphonates and of antibiotics in the tetracycline and quinolone families, so separate the doses by several hours. Long use of proton pump inhibitors has been linked to low serum magnesium that sometimes does not correct until the acid blocker is adjusted. So discuss that if heartburn pills are part of your routine. People with kidney disease need special caution and close medical supervision to avoid high magnesium levels. All of these points are spelled out in the Office of Dietary Supplements fact sheet for health professionals and consumers. The bigger message is simple. Put magnesium-rich foods on your plate at each meal. Use water and cooking methods that make greens easy to enjoy, and track how your legs feel across a week. If cramps continue or you carry several risk factors, ask for a conversation that includes diet review, a serum magnesium test, and a check of medicines that may be pulling levels down. When a supplement is needed, choose a form that is absorbed well, respect the adult upper limit, and keep your clinician in the loop. That steady plan fits what large cohorts in clinical trials are telling us. The right intake, personalized to your needs, can move real performance measures in the right direction and help you protect the independence you have earned. As you put these foods on your plate, avoid the traps that keep many older adults stuck. A very common mistake is to eat plenty of fruits and vegetables, but skip beans, seeds, and whole grains. The National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements explains that refining grain removes most of the magnesium-rich bran and germ, so a bowl of white rice or soft white bread delivers far less magnesium than the whole grain version you grew up with. Building every meal around at least one magnesium-carrying food such as beans, greens, nuts, seeds, or intact grains is a quiet way to keep muscles supplied without upsetting your stomach. Another mistake is to start a magnesium pill without checking medicines. The Office of Dietary Supplements notes that magnesium can bind in the intestine and reduce absorption of oral bisphosphonates and of antibiotics in the tetracycline and quinolone families, which is why doses should be separated by several hours. It also reminds us that certain medicines lower magnesium over time, including loop and thiazide diuretics, and long courses of proton pump inhibitors, so a quick review with your clinician prevents one pill from undoing another. Finally, many people try to fix cramps while still relying on evening alcohol or strong coffee. Alcohol can dehydrate and caffeine can fragment sleep, both of which make nocturnal cramps more likely. Choosing water with dinner and a calm routine before bed supports the work your meals are doing. There is also help beyond the kitchen. A randomized clinical trial in the Journal of Physiotherapy tested a simple nightly routine of calf and hamstring stretching in community-dwelling older adults for 6 weeks and found fewer nocturnal leg cramps and less pain compared with usual care. The program took only a few minutes before bed and was easy to sustain. Add a short walk during the day to improve circulation. Then use massage or a warm pack on the calves in the evening to relax the muscle. Cleveland Clinic patient guidance echoes these practical steps and advises regular hydration and gentle stretching while discouraging routine use of quinine because of safety concerns. Together, these habits reduce cramp triggers regardless of the exact magnesium number. Here is a 7-day action plan that fits real life. Day 1 and Day 2. Swap your snack for a small handful of roasted pumpkin seeds or almonds and add a half cup of cooked beans to lunch. Then stretch calves for 3 to 5 minutes before sleep. These foods are listed by the National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements as reliable magnesium sources, and spreading them through the day improves tolerance. Day 3 and Day 4. Replace refined grains with whole grains and add a half to 1 cup of cooked leafy greens to your main meal. Use these days to review stomach acid medicines and diuretics with your clinician, since both classes can lower magnesium over time. Day 5 through Day 7. If your intake still falls short or testing confirms low magnesium, consider a low starting dose of a better absorbed form such as magnesium citrate or magnesium lactate, taken with food and increased slowly as tolerated, while you keep up water intake and nightly stretching. The Office of Dietary Supplements sets the tolerable upper limit for magnesium from supplements and medicines at 350 milligrams per day in adults unless your clinician directs otherwise, and it recommends separating magnesium by several hours from bisphosphonates or from tetracycline and quinolone antibiotics. People with kidney disease need close medical supervision. Quick answers to common questions. Should everyone with cramps take a magnesium pill? No. High-quality evidence does not support a universal fix for idiopathic nocturnal leg cramps in older adults. The Cochrane Library Review on Magnesium for Skeletal Muscle Cramps concluded that benefits are uncertain and likely small for idiopathic cramps. So the wiser approach is to correct a true shortfall and work on stretching, hydration, and medicine review. How much magnesium is enough? For adults age 51 and older, the recommended dietary allowance is 420 milligrams per day for men and 320 milligrams per day for women from all foods and drinks. Use the food list from earlier to count what a typical day provides. Then close the gap with real food first and only add a supplement when diet and clinical judgment call for it. Magnesium is a quiet key to stronger legs after 60. Start with food. Put the 7 magnesium-rich choices on your plate each day. Review medicines that may lower magnesium, and only add a supplement if you and your clinician decide it is needed and safe. If this video helped, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next step. Join the Agewell community in the comments and write "I added magnesium from food today." Share the change you will make tonight and check back to report your progress. Your story will inspire someone else.